day 14 of BookMas. If you are watching this in real time, Happy New Year's! It is the first day of 2022, and the video I'm giving to you today is contemporary or thrillers or books that are not fantasy that I'm really excited to read that is coming out in 2022. So let's get into it. Excited for is When You Get a Chance by Emma Lord. This comes out January 4th. And I'm really excited for this one, but here's a photo. Emma Lord is definitely one of my favorite newer contemporary authors, and I'm really excited to read this one. It's delightful. It just sounds so cute. It's so you follow this girl named Millie, and she wants to be a Broadway star, but everything is sort of not going exactly her way. She has a love-to-hate relationship with this boy who may turn into a romantic rival. Her dad and her don't always get along. He doesn't really understand her, and she doesn't know who her mom is. So sort of with a Mamma Mia twist, she is going to sort of go back to her dad's live journal post in 2003 and figure out who her mother is. And she has 3 possible candidates. I'm thrilled. I can't wait for this to be here. I keep hoping I will get an e-arc of this and I can read it on the train, on like the plane ride home from Florida. I doubt I'll get that lucky, but if not, I am definitely going to buy a copy. She also lives in New York, so it's possible there might be doing like an actual in-person event, which I will totally go to if it occurs. But I love books about theater. If you don't know me and haven't been following my videos for the past couple years, I actually teach theater at like a local middle school, and I love books that have a theater connection. And I love Emma Lord as a writer, and I'm really hopeful I will like this as much as I liked Tweet Cute, because that was definitely my favorite book by her. And it comes out earlier in the year. That means I don't have to wait too long, which is awesome. I'm going to chat about also comes out in January, and it is a historical fiction thriller by June Her. I've read 2 of her books, and this is the 3rd one, and it is called The Red Palace. And here is a photo. Cover. So this book is set in, she always has such interesting time periods. It's set in 1758 in Korea. Johnson, Korea. And this follows a girl. She's illegitimate, and illegitimate daughters at this time period have very, very few options. But she winds up getting a position as a maid in a palace, and she's just trying to get by. She's trying to like win her dad's approval. But she kind of gets sucked up into the political machinagies of this world, like the political world of this house. When 5 women are killed in one night, her best friend is basically, our mentor is basically the number 1 suspect. She has to kind of investigate what's happening to kind of clear his name, and she just goes down a deep hole trying to uncover this. Again, I really like her writing style. I love how she tackles these smaller time periods that I've never really read about, and just gives me a nice fleshed out experience of being in the world, but also gives a lot of historical context, which I super like. I really liked Silence in Our Bones. I really love Forest of Stolen Girls. They both were super good, so this one will definitely be high on my TBR, and I will definitely report back my thoughts about it because I have really enjoyed all of her books. I'm going to chat about is perfectly timed for the Winter Olympics, and it is called Finding Her Edge, and this is by the same author that wrote Broke the Fall, which was the gymnastics book I read this year, right in time for the Tokyo Olympics. I'm really excited for this one. It comes out in early February, and I will totally be here for it. Here's a photo. The summary is just really, really sweet. It's like a very, very simple summary, but you basically follow this ice dancer. She's like figure skating royalty. She's very, very well known in the community, but you follow her as she's sort of drawn to her old dancing partner and her new dancing partner. I'm sure there's going to be some competitive. She has gold medal parents. Everyone's headed to the Olympics, and all she wants to do is live up to her name and skate atop the ice dancing podium at the Junior Worlds. But some boys get in her way. And I'm really, really intrigued by this one because I really liked her first book that I read by her. I think she had 1 more, but I'm intrigued. So this one sounds really, really cute, and it's perfectly timed for the Olympics. So this is awesome. I'm really excited to hopefully read in the beginning of March is Love Decoded by Jennifer Yan. This is the same person that wrote A Taste of Love, which was a Pride and Prejudice retelling. This is an Emma retelling. I am intrigued right off the bat, but let's get into the beautiful photo and then a brief summary. She's a teenager. She's in her senior year of high school, and she's dealing with a lot of stuff. Like she has a fun best friend, but the pressure of school is getting to her. So suddenly there's a competition to get an elite scholarship to like a tech internship. And she doesn't have an app to submit. So she decided to create a matchmaking app to help her new friend who's new to the school sort of fit in and make some friends. But her app becomes really popular and it starts a scandal that puts her at odds with her old best friend and her new best friend. She has to sort of work together to sort of save the day and make sure no one's in trouble, and it just sounds delightful. I really liked her first book. That had to do with baking. I really like that one. This one's more of an Emma, and Emma's personally my favorite like Jane Austen story. So I think this one is right up my alley, and I hope I get around to reading it soon. If I don't get an early copy, I'll definitely be picking it up this March. In March is the newest Jen Bennett book, and it's called Always Jane. I have loved all of Jen Bennett's books that I've read. I still have not read her first book. I will get around to it one day, but this one is one that it just has a summary that's really, really cute and sounds perfect in summary. So I'm here for it. So here's the pretty photo, and then let's get into the summary. I spy a puppy on the cover. I'm immediately intrigued. So the summary says she's a chauffeur's daughter and she winds up falling for two boys in this rich neighborhood, and that is a concept I don't think I've ever really read before. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like First Kid or like First Kid. So that's just what I think about when I think of like a chauffeur's daughter. But I don't know, it just sounds adorable, and it seems like it might be a little bit love triangle-y. But yeah, I'm intrigued. So I really have enjoyed all of Jen Bennett book. I think there's like a festival involved and a job, and there's two boys, and maybe there's gonna be friendship and romance. I'm really here for it, and I will definitely be checking out this in March when it comes out. As this is just a series of all the books by authors I've read before. They normally have a book coming out once a year. So again, the Emily Webberly and Austin Sigmund Broca will be on this list. I do want to mention they also do have a adult romance coming out called The Roughest Draft. That is coming out also this year, which I will definitely be picking up. I think I'm going to do another video for adult romances because there's quite a few that like YA authors are writing adult romances, and I'm very intrigued by all of them, but I do want to mention they are coming out with another one. This one is kind of loosely based on their own experience, but you follow these two characters. They're either at the start of their senior year or like maybe like the summer before their senior year. And they're both planning on going away to college, and the girl is like very, very suspicious. She's like, I don't think this is gonna work. She has made plans to sort of break up with him, but then he comes to her and says, look, we're moving out of state. She takes it as her time. Well, all right, he's going to move. Our paths will cross. This will fizzle out. But it doesn't go the way she thinks as they start, visiting each other and communicating. She starts to fall more in love with him than she thought she would. And just sounds cute. This is a really unique concept for a YA novel because normally they're always together. So I'm intrigued by this. Very, very much so. And I really hope that I enjoy it when I get around to reading it. So definitely will be picking this up in April. Thrillers and mysteries to this video now. I'm going to talk about Sense and Second Degree Murder by Tirsha Smith. I think I'm saying that wrong. But she originally wrote Pride and Premeditation, which was a Pride and Prejudice retelling, which I really liked. This is a Sense and Sensibility retelling. Again, totally here for it, and I'm really excited for this one. And this one comes out in April. Two sisters have to work together to solve their father's murder. One is a budding scientist, and the second is a scientist and a detective work together to solve their father's murder. that sounds really intriguing. I really like the first one, and I'm really excited to see what she does with this one. But yeah, very, very awesome, and I can't wait to read this coming spring. It's by Christina, Lynn, Herman. It comes out April 19th. It's called The Drowning Summer. This takes place at a Long Island summer camp, and I am intrigued. I live on Long Island. Clip. This book takes place on Long Island. In the past, 5 teens were killed at a summer camp, and even though no one was officially charged with the murder, everyone thinks that Evelyn's dad did it, even though he was, not convicted. And then the other main character in the story, her family is a medium, and she has been working to kind of get these spirits to rest. But when Evelyn decides to do a spell to sort of raise these spirits, she makes a mistake, and they sort of have to sort of work together to solve this. They're also fighting a growing attraction to each other, and they have to sort of work together to uncover what happened all those nights ago and give these spirits a final resting place. I am intrigued. Sounds really interesting, very spooky, eerie, creepy. Probably will read this near summer, but I'm intrigued. This is a rare physical book. I did get this again from Simon & Schuster, but it's Very Bad People by Kit Frick. I read I Killed Zoe Spanos. Was it this year? Maybe it was last year that I read it, and I really liked it. So this Revenge is a Dangerous Game in this pulse-pounding, dark academia thriller, perfect for fans of People Like Us and Female of the Species. 6 years ago, Calliope's mother drowned after driving the family van in the lake with her daughters inside, and the truth about the accident remains a mystery. Now, she is transferred to the Tipton Academy, an elite boarding school where her mom went, and she gets a lot of different opportunities, including a coveted invitation to join a secret society. But stuff does not go right for her, and the secret society is not what she thought it was, and she may have to try to uncover secrets, not only save her own life, but maybe also to uncover what happened to her mother at the school that led to her death. So, I'm intrigued. I really did like her first book, and this one, the cover, I'm intrigued by right off the bat. So, this one comes out in April as well. Coming out in April. April is actually a really, really popular month for mysteries, thrillers, and contemporaries because we're getting into the spring and summer months. So there will be a couple more in April. But it's called This May End Badly. And here was a photo. It's about prank wars and fake dating and all that jazz. It seems like it will be super fun. Yeah, when a high-stakes boarding school prank leads to fake dating scheme, 2 teens must decide if they are ready to take the ultimate risk, falling in love. I don't even need to read anymore. I do have an e-arc of this from Wednesday Books. Hopefully I'll get around to reading it soon, but I'm intrigued. It sounds adorable, and hopefully this book goes better than Meet Me at Midnight, which was not my favorite, but I like prank wars when they're done well. So I have high hopes. I'm really excited for is also coming out April 5th. It's by Caitlin Hill, and it's called Love from Scratch. This is another baking contemporary, and I'm excited. Here's the beautiful cover so we can all admire it. Follows Reese, and she gets invited to go to Seattle to work at this bakery, and she's competing with her coworker for a fall internship to stay on in the fall, and she loves baking. She normally is from the South, but she's going to Seattle, and she's all excited, but her plan to get this baking internship sort of falls to pieces when she realizes she's competing against Benny, this backward baseball cap wearing guy. But when they're kind of thrust together to do a PR video, the internet and the world just sort of flocks to them and thinks that they're going to be this next couple. Their bosses are all excited for the extra publicity, so they're forced to work together, and romance, drama, and maybe some baking occurs. I'm really excited for this one. It sounds super cute, and I'm sure when I read it, I'll be super hungry, so I'll be sure to report back. And I do have an e-arc of this one. Oh my goodness, I have tried to do the summary like 4 times, so I hope you guys we're able to follow that. Next book I'm going to chat about is by Sarah Henning. It's another one of her sports themed contemporary novels. This book is about gymnastics, my personal favorite sport. Really excited for it. It comes out May 31st. Perfect timing for the well, if we have it, if we're gonna have like the nationals in May, and I'm really excited for that. But this will be a book that I'm thrilled for. So here's the photo. Is called It's All in How You Fall. It follows Carolyn. She's a gymnast, but she knows she's never gonna make it to the Olympics. Her goal is to keep on the elite track, manage her back pain so she can go to college and perform gymnastics that way, which is always a little bit less stressful. But her world sort of comes crashing down when she's dealing with a career-ending injury, and she winds up meeting this young man named Alex, and she kind of winds up working with him, and he introduces her to sports she never knew about, and they just sort of start working together. And every single sports he teaches her about, she is going to learn. She's going to help him by matchmaking him with someone. But one problem occurs, she starts falling for him, and we know where this book's going to go. But I'm really excited for it. I love books about gymnastics, so I'm totally here for this one. What about is the newest Jennifer Dugan book, Melt With You, and this is going to be coming out May 17th. It involves an ice cream truck and an LGBTQ plus set of characters. Here is a photo. Again, a very, very nice book cover as well. Follows two characters, Chloe and Fallon, and they had a hookup the previous year, but then one of the girls went up to college, and they've sort of, after a series of misunderstandings, they're not even talking anymore. So the next year, they're sort of forced to get to work together because their moms work together. They work as like an ice cream business, and they have an opportunity to sort of go to Texas and kind of pitch for venture capitalists, but they have to run the food truck together, and they have to sort of work together and go on a cross-country trip to sort of do these food festivals, and drama, romance, probably issues as they're working together. I'm really intrigued by this. I loved her other book, Some Girls Do. I also really liked Verona Comics. Verona Comics was a much harsher, not like harsher, but like it dealt with a lot of mental health issues. I really did like Some Girls Do, and I'm really excited for this one as well, and hopefully I'll be able to check it out in May. Next book that I'm really excited about is from the same author that wrote the one about the honeybees. I haven't read it yet, but it's Amelia Diane Combs, I think. So her newest book that's coming out in June 17th is called Exactly Where You Need to Be, and here is the cover. Gloria is the main character in the story, and she lives sort of a sheltered life between her overprotective mother and her OCD, but she knows that everything's going to change when she and her best friend go to college, so she decides to go on a cross-country road trip with her best friend and two boys to go to this true crime show in California, all without their parents finding out. So when they go on this cross-country trip, they take along a brother and someone that she has a connection with, and that sort of sends them on this adventure, and they have to do this all get back before their parents find out. And I'm sure I love road trip books, so I'm really excited for this one, and we'll definitely be checking it out after I read her Honeycomb book. But yeah, and then the last book I'm going to talk to you guys about is called Long Story Short, and this one is coming out in July. I have a really early e-arc of, but it basically follows this girl. She is a whiz. She's like a genius. She's her goal is to go to Oxford. However, she is more focused on like her studies and less focused on being a normal teenager, but she wants to be able to move to Oxford in England, and her parents are not convinced she can do that. So her parents give her a challenge. If she can convince them that she can like be a normal teenager, they will let her go to Oxford and have her dream college experience. But she decides to go to the Shakespeare summer camp and sort of get used to like being around people and having interactions. And she has this bucket list to check everything off. She's very, very by the book, a very, very type A personality. But all of that goes out the window when a boy comes into her life, and hormones, love, and maybe a summer to remember. We will see. But I'm really excited for this one. So these are just some of the contemporary books that I have my eyes on for 2022. Let me know in the comments if I missed any. I'm sure I have. And I'll talk to you guys for my next video. Bye, friends.